How you
Hey,
doing, Jamie?
I'm doing great. How are you doing lately, Matt?
I'm good. I'm good. I know Jamie and I were just talking. It's school is starting in Thompson Station, and we saw each other at the school. And just
Yeah,
waved quickly and ran off.
too many people, too
I
many excited
know.
children wanting to see their friends, right?
It's so crazy how they do that. They like have this. You have to like bring a big box with stuff for your kid, and like everybody shows up at the same time.
And the parking is cuckoo. Like
There's
we
no
parked
parking.
almost off property. Did you do any food trucks? They usually have food trucks, which is really great in this area. It's like a bash, so you get to kind of
No, I didn't. I didn't. That actually leads me. I was going to ask you about this, and I'm glad you just reminded me. Um, so I started doing intermittent fasting, and it's 16 hours of not eating. So you start at like my last meal's at 8 at night, and I don't eat until like noon.
okay.
How are you doing with like, I know you were like doing some stuff and trying to work out and eat. Is that still like on track?
Still on track. I still do it. So I do right now. Every month I do something different. I usually do intermittent fasting, anyways, just naturally because I don't usually eat breakfast. But
Yeah.
this month, and it works out. I mean, like I've gotten to the point where I'm not hungry, anyways, right?
Yeah.
The biggest thing that I've been doing, I've this month of August, I'm cutting out all refined carbs. I'm jogging 1 mile every morning, and then I do my
That's a good
normal
idea.
weightlifting, trying to get some muscle tone because you can do all that, but if there's a thing called skinny fat. Some people told me about. Have you
Oh
heard
my
of skinny
God.
fat?
Skinny fat's the worst. Like that's I like to watch the Tour de France every summer, like some of it with those cyclists. They're not fat, but they're so skinny. Like no muscle. There's a few that have muscle, but I'm like, I do not want to look like that.
Yeah. So that's
Um,
what I'm trying to do because muscle helps you burn more calories and it there. Oh,
I just came from the gym.
let me,
How are yours looking?
I'm trying to get it to where you can see
Oh,
it.
you can't even get. All right, not bad.
So that's what I'm trying to
Well,
do. And then I'm not lifting, but you kick your back legs up where you lay on your stomach.
yeah, yeah.
So I'm up to 50 pounds now, which may not be much for people, but for me that's pretty dang good.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm really enjoying the intermittent fasting. Like, I'm kind of hungry right now. I don't know what time it is. It's like 10:35. I'm kind of hungry, but like I can make it till 12:30. I have to just get through this 10:30 to like 11:30 hump, get over that hump,
Yeah.
and then I feel good.
Do you feel more clear, like minded?
Yeah, I mean, I just went to the gym. I feel good right now. Like I feel less like one of my issues that I always felt like bloated. And then I was trying to follow, if you follow these nutritionists, they're like, eat every couple hours, eat more. You're probably not eating enough. And I'm like, finally, I'm like, I just feel like crap and I'm having trouble. Like, it's like I'm not digesting or something. I don't know. So I'm just trying it. I like how you're switching things up like each month.
Yeah. It
That's a
makes it
cool idea because I don't think you can sustain one diet, right?
unless some people, if you make it a lifestyle, are you drinking water? Did you drink water? Because I noticed that like I drink water a lot. So okay,
Yep. That's how many ounces? 32 ounces. I've already drank 1.5 and
good.
I'm
Okay.
on, so I'll be 2.5 down. Got to
Yeah.
pee like a racehorse like every 20
Every
minutes.
I know, I'm like running to the bathroom like, oh my gosh, if I could make it there. And I don't like to go always in restaurants. So I always try to go to the bathroom before I leave.
Oh, yeah.
Because you never know the restaurant bathroom.
I know, right?
I mean, and when I say that, you guys, I don't mean like sometimes you go in a restaurant bathroom and it's really clean and lovely. And then other times you go in and there's a line, or other times you go in and it's not the best smelling bathroom. And then
Like the Mexican restaurant. Those are the worst. Like the floors are greasy and you're
oh
slipping
yeah.
around.
And you're like, oh my gosh, I have to.
I
Oh.
tell my kids just don't touch anything.
Oh my gosh. The worst person to go to the bath, like being a girl, like Beth is so lucky that she has a house full of men because she doesn't have to go to the bathroom with anybody. You're elected because I have a little girl, Piper, and she takes so much time in the bathroom. It doesn't matter if we're in a public bathroom or not. And it's like 10 minutes later, we're still in the bathroom. Everybody's gotten their food and halfway done with it. And I'm like,
oh my gosh. Yeah.
Like that's like a struggle when you have a girl. Because you know how women are when they go somewhere, like, who wants to go in the bathroom with me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just get up and go, dude.
I just actually had a talk with Ethan. I went to use our downstairs bathroom, and there's like pee on the floor in front of the toilet. And there's Ethan in the kitchen. I knew it was him. I called him in there, and he's like, I didn't stand close enough. And I'm like, you can't just leave it. Like,
how far away did he stand?
I don't know. He's probably trying to do the long pee. It's a thing with guys. We see how far we can pee from the toilet. It's really weird. Yeah. Well, all right, let's dive in here. So the reason I brought you on today is, on my channel, I have a lot of people that are moving here from out of state that are looking at videos to learn about the area, and people that live here already. And as a real estate agent, I feel like now, and even with myself, I'm going to talk to you about this at some point soon. I feel like people are just getting insurance, like assuming everything's okay. Like they're just calling whoever, getting insurance and assuming that it's the right coverage and that's it.
Yeah.
I don't feel like there's enough importance or enough focus put on insurance.
No.
So I know you're with Allstate. You own an Allstate. It's a branch, right? Is that what it's called, or do you own your own?
Yeah.
So, tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into insurance and got to where you are.
Yeah. So I've been in insurance since 2014. I used to waitress after college. I, was a waitress at a restaurant, and then I moved on to be a manager, and then I helped open new restaurants. But in all of that, just some corporate people happened to come into the restaurant, and I talked to them. They're like, hey, you would be such a fit for this industry. And 2004, I got a job in the industry, and I've been here ever since. And then I decided in 2018, I was like, you know what? I want to open my own agency, because the person I was working with and for is wonderful, but he is getting older. So he was, I was worried, like, is he going to die? I mean, that's a valid thing, because he owned his agency. So if something happens to him, and he worked with a company that the agency, if he died or retired, the agency was absorbed back by the mother company or the captive company, and then it's distributed out. So I started thinking about that because I was getting older, he was getting older, and I thought, and these clients I had grown up with, you got to think, I was 2004, I was at 20s, you know what I mean? Early 20s. And I'm a couple of decades older now, right? So I was thinking, wow, I've grown up with these people. If anything happens or he makes a life change, that's it. I'm not ever going to talk to these people again. And they're going to have different agent and all of that. And they mean a lot to me. And then that started weighing on me. And I thought, what do I want to do? And I thought, I want to, I'm cultivating these relationships. They're really important to me because I'm really big on accountability. So if they need something, I'm going to be there. But also, if something happens to me or something, or I want to get out of the business, then I want my clients to be taken care of by the people they know, like, and can trust, right? And that is going to be me and the people in my agency. And I want my agents to know if anything happens, that they have an opportunity to stay with the agency or to become the owner of the agency. That's really important because, again, that takes care of my client. They are consistent with what they're used to. I'm not just jumping ship. I'm not, I don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon.
How long have you been in business with Allstate?
With Allstate, I've been here since 2018.
Okay, nice. That's about the time that I started in real estate. Like I started around 2017. I can't remember if I got my license in 17, but 18 really geared up.
Yeah, you started getting hot and heavy in 18.
Yeah.
That's when we met.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then that's what I do. And part of my thing is like, I like to have relationships, and I like to educate, and I like to make sure my staff is educated and that they educate our clients. Because again, like you said, homeowners insurance, people are just getting it and they're like, oh, I just need it to fit in. So my debt to income works. So my loan will work. So all of this, but then they don't realize when they have a claim, it doesn't matter if it fit into that or not. You want your house back. You want somebody to pay for you to live somewhere else while you are getting your house fixed. If you don't have the right coverage, you might think $1,000, I have this much deductible, but then you don't realize there's all this back cost that's associated that you're not, that's part of, your claim, and you're going to be coming out of pocket for it.
So if somebody calls to get insurance for their home, like what's the basic things? If you were to get like the bare bones insurance, well, first of all, let me ask you this. This might be a dumb question. I want to ask everything because I just wonder these things. I don't think about insurance a lot, so just bear with me. Is it only required if you have a mortgage?
So you can, yes, you're absolutely right. A lender of some sorts. It might be a bank, it might be a mortgage, or you might have somebody that is lending you the money that requires.
Okay. But if you have the house paid off, you don't even need to have insurance. I mean,
you need to have it. You're not required to have it.
Okay. So when someone buys a home and they call whoever, not just you, I'm trying to get an understanding, and they just get, hey, I need an insurance quote because it's required by my lender, and they don't know what they're looking at. Say it's a first-time home buyer, someone that doesn't read any of the fine print. Like, what are the basic coverages they're getting?
Yeah, so for most homeowners quotes that you're going to get now, there's a whole spectrum of quotes, right? Mm-hmm. So just keep that in mind. There's a spectrum of quotes and what things are covered and things aren't. But for the most part, you're going to have your dwelling, which is your house, covered. You're going to have other structures. So that's anything that's in your yard not attached to your house, such as an underground pool, or such as your fence, or it could be your driveway, stuff like that. And then you're going to have your personal property. So other structures usually goes off percentage off of what the main dwelling is covered.
Okay.
Personal property is usually a percentage of, because statistically, if you know insurance, everything is done statistically.
Okay. So that's a very good point you just made. They're just using statistics. So if you're someone that has $50,000 in guns, or a giant mower sitting on the side that's worth $20,000, or a $150,000 piece of jewelry, that seems like a little excessive. That might not get covered if you don't look into it a little deeper, right?
Absolutely. That's why it's so important to have a relationship and to talk to somebody. You can call a call center and you can get a quote, but this is what you're getting when you call a call center. You're getting somebody in a call center that may or may not live in your state, that may not even own a house or has never owned a house. Maybe they, you know what I mean? It's different if they don't have that experience. And you know what, let's see, they're never going to talk to you again. So they're really just spitting out a quote to you based upon the little bit of information the information you give them. They're never going to talk to you again. So fast forward down the line a year or even 6 months, and then somebody breaks in and steals your ring and everything like that. They have no idea, nor do they care, because they're never going to talk to you again. If you have an agent, that's a big deal, because they're going to talk to you. So they're going to want to take more time with you because they want to get to know you, Because if they get to know you, then they know what kind of coverages you need. If I know that you have a lot of antiques and those are, oh, these were for my family, that's important to know, because you're not going to have the same coverage with, it's a dresser to the insurance company. To you, is the intrinsic value. You can get more money off of it, but that's not the norm. So yes, it's important to know that, because there's other things that you want more coverage for, like that $20,000 mower.
I'm getting to the point now. I think as you just get older, you start realizing stuff that's important. And like, I know there's fine print for every contract I sign. I know there's fine print in your contracts when you sign with Allstate. I'm not every insurance agency.
Mm-hmm.
Like, now I'm like starting to be like, okay, I want to know, like, if something happens, how will I be covered and how won't I? Like, one thing I was thinking about, because I've seen this a few times and I don't know if you can get coverage for this or if it's just never. What if you have a pipe that bursts outside of your house, the water line leading to your house, and you don't know that it bursts until you've already had like 2 or 3 water bills that are like $2,000. I'm just making something up.
Yeah.
Is there insurance that could cover that?
Yeah. So some insurance providers will offer you that to put on your home. So here's the deal with the pipes from the street out. That's the city.
Okay. Or you mean from the house out?
Well, hold on a second. I'm going to go through it with you. From the street out, that's the city. When it hits your property to the dwelling, that's kind of no man's land, but it's your responsibility. And then once it hits the dwelling, it's automatically in the insurance policy. So there's 3 different avenues when you have a busted pipe, and they've got to see, is it on the city side? Is it on the homeowner side? And then when it's on the homeowner side, where it is on the homeowner side. So you can buy that coverage on a home policy. On some home policies, not all cover it. Sometimes the water company will send you a message and offer that coverage for them. But yes, that's something you want to be consider. You want to consider, and depending on the company. I don't see a whole bunch of those claims, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But that's just something to consider. Yes.
What is like? I'm kind of putting you on the spot here, so you might not have an answer, but like, what's the wildest claim or one that you remember, or just, is there something crazy you've seen happen?
Man, I've seen a lot of crazy claims happen, and we're talking homeowners here. So I have 2. I have one that's a consistent one that I think is crazy, and it shocks me every single time I get a call on the type of claim. But I get a call on this type of claim at least once every 2 to 3 years. Suicide in the home.
Interesting. So they
call on that claim, but the other type that has only happened once, but it was very interesting, is there was somebody having work done on their house up the street. And the contractor that came, he got out of his truck, went in. I guess he did not put his truck on park. The truck rolled all the way down the street into my client, right into their living room. Literally was in the living room. Thank goodness they weren't in the living room.
Right.
And so they had to get out of the house. Nobody was allowed in the house until a structural engineer came to make sure it was going to be okay. The car had to stay there so they could get their stuff out. And then they rebuilt their house as a 1 level because they were getting old. They didn't want a 2 level. So that was a really interesting claim.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Coverage.
And I think you and I talked about this next thing a while back. Like, I've seen where some insurance companies, and I'm sure, I think you said, hey, your coverage can be modified if people will sit down and talk to you and you can figure out what is important to them. But like, I remember at one point a roof, and I can't remember. I know this happens with every insurance company.
Yeah.
Someone had roof damage and they did a claim. Well, the company only replaced the back half of the roof because the front was fine, which I come from the roofing industry. I do understand that the front's intact and it's fine. They're shingles. They don't if it's just on the back, it doesn't affect the front. But is that like, are there different levels people can get of roof coverage? I mean, I know that's a big insurance thing.
Yeah. So yeah, and for the people that are moving to Tennessee, because we have people in other regions that watch your videos. So roof cover, like tornadoes is the biggest thing I get asked from people that are coming from California.
Yes, that's a
Does
good
this
point.
cover tornadoes? Does this cover hail damage? Because they're not used to it, right? But so any insurance company is there to put you back to where you were prior to. So if you had a roof that, because sometimes hail will come down and it hits one area because it's coming down at this angle, so it's not going to hit that other one. So they're responsible for repairing damages, not stuff that's not been damaged. Just like if you have a roof that is really, really aged and worn out and it needs to be replaced, and then we have hail damage and it hits this half of the roof but not the other half, well, yes, that other area needs to be replaced, but it's because of age. It's nothing. You have to have one of the perils activate for us to replace it.
For you to, I just think, go ahead. Sorry.
No, well, I was going to say with roofs, that's a big thing too to ask when you're going with somebody, because some providers do replacement cost on your roof, meaning that they'll replace, the shingles that they say, hey, we need to replace this. Some will do depreciation depending on the roof's age, which say, okay, we're going to replace it, but we're going to depreciate it a little. And others will do cash value. So that's really important to know, because you think you have an X amount deductible and then you have a roof claim and it's like, oh yeah, I have this deductible, but then I have this other portion I have to pay because I didn't realize that. Same with building codes. You want building codes on your homeowner's policy, because roofs have, and Matt, you can probably speak to this more, like some areas in codes in our area. Matter of fact, when my homes were being built, they were built in the 90s, the late 90s. They didn't have to have those black tarps underneath where they put, and then and then now you have to have, like, it's fine now, but if my roof goes, that tarp has to be, well, that's a codes thing. So I need to make sure I have codes in my homeowner's policy, because the insurance company is to put you back to the way you were.
Let me ask you this while I'm thinking of it. Can you say somebody has like a pretty big insurance claim on their house, and it's like water damage, roof, half roof, whatever. They go to sell it. The new person calls you to get insurance on the house. Can you see that there was some kind of major claim? Really?
I can. And usually if I see a major claim like that, depending on how close it was, because sometimes my underwriters will want to know that it's been fixed, that the other homeowners fixed it. So I have to ask about it. But usually I will, make sure that client, if it was something recently, I'll say, okay, this is the claims that I see. Obviously this was at the house before you don't have any claims. But yeah.
Interesting. Because would that affect the price that your clients would pay for their insurance?
No, actually, what I see a lot in our area, in Middle Tennessee area, because it's very prevalent to have hail and wind, is new roofs. That actually works better, because I can see, oh, you had a claim.
Yeah.
It was a wind hail claim. Does that mean your house has a new roof on it? Yeah. Oh, that's good for Allstate.
That's actually good. That must drive insurance companies nuts, because I came from the commercial roofing industry, but I would occasionally talk to people from residential and run into guys. The residential roofers that chase storms have it down. They have figured out like ways to get people new roofs, even if it's like kind of questionable. Like, say someone has a 16-year-old roof and there was a recent hailstorm. They like know how to go out there and like claim that they're fresh hail marks and that the AC unit fins are damaged and the metal has hail damage in the metal. So they get new metal. They like know how to like get all the pieces and parts covered, even if it happened from just years of use on the roof.
Well, so that's a great thing. Yes, if it's true hail damage. But what I see a lot is we'll have somebody go out and say, oh, this is covered. Oh, this is hail. Or even they could make it look like it is.
Yeah.
And claim representatives are trained to look at things like that. So then you have a lot of upset clients because, hey, I don't get on roofs. So if a roofer gets on a roof and says, hey, this needs to be fixed and there's hail damage everywhere, the only thing I'm hearing is there's hail damage everywhere. It needs to be fixed. If it's not correct hail damage and they find out, that's insurance fraud.
Yeah. Oh, so if somebody has a roof claim and let's say let's say somebody somehow gets one past you, like,
oh, then, I mean, if they get it past if the claim, because we have claim reps that come out, if the claim rep comes out and they agree with it and they extend coverage, there's coverage extended unless something comes back that tips it off. But most times if it's covered, it's covered.
Okay, but let's say the roof was old anyways, and it maybe could have been fine, but these people were like, hey, we had a little bit of hail damage. It's an opportunity to get a new roof.
Yeah.
So they get their new roof and it's all legit. What if like the next year they have a real like storm that comes through and blows the roof off again? How does the insurance company look at that? Is that a problem, or does it start becoming a problem, or is it like, hey, it's your coverage and that's what you get?
Yeah, no. So I want to speak to the blows. If it blows the roof, just like,
yeah,
there were claims that we saw you and I, and I looked into it more. The roof shouldn't have just blown off like that, right?
Right.
If it just blows off, the people that put the roof on did not do a good job.
Something's on the edge or something.
It doesn't matter. Like, so if I have a homeowner's claim today, that's a hailstorm and I get a new roof put on, and then next year a tornado comes and rips my roof off and I have to have another claim, the insurance company is going to, I mean, if it's a bona fide loss and it falls underneath your perils, they're going to cover it. Now, there's some insurance companies that will cancel because the frequency of the claim. But if you have a contract with them and it falls in line with that contract, they're going to cover it.
Okay. I know I had so many windshield claims that my insurance took my windshield coverage off.
Well, so they made you, so they did not cover the claim. They just saw that, oh, we need to, this guy.
Yeah, kind of pissed me
driving
off.
behind gravel trucks.
I know. I don't know what happened. You should have seen, like, when I was driving the little black BMW.
Yeah.
I got the car, I get on the highway, freaking rock comes flying right out and hits the windshield. So I get it replaced. I got the new windshield for like 2 months and a rock, perfect, just flies and hits it. And that happened like 4 times over a 2-year period. And my current truck, which I bought basically new, already got a rock chip right in my line of view. I'm just like, I don't know. I just attract rocks on the highway.
I think you have, you know, is it just, how big is the chip real quick? I know this is like a side conversation.
It's not huge. It hasn't spread. So
is it bigger than $1, smaller than $1?
Oh, way smaller than it's like the size of a nickel.
Okay. I may have something you can put on there to make it not spread. But also, if you want, I can connect you with somebody. So this is something, just a tidbit for those people out there. If you get something that's really, really small, you can call a windshield place and they'll come and usually fill it so it doesn't spread. Mm-hmm. It's usually around $50-$60. Like Allstate will cover that for free. Now, don't think that means that it's going to make that chip look go away. You're still going to have that little ding in your thing. It's just not going to spread and get worse. But I think I have a quick fix for you in my office. And if I do, I'll let you know.
Okay.
You can run by and get it and drop it off.
Another question I wanted to ask you, when someone's buying a house, like say in Tennessee, just middle Tennessee, like what are the things that might affect, but let's just say it's all the same coverage. You've already figured out the coverage. Mm-hmm. Do things like location affect the price of their coverage?
Absolutely. So every different insurance carrier has a different appetite, right? You have some people that love pizza and some people that are like, I'm not going to choose pizza.
Why'd you say that? I'm like starving right now. I wish you
sushi. You're like, why'd you say that? But yeah, so location is going to matter big time because location is going to tell us how rural you are or how metropolitan you are, right?
Gotcha.
Just
So
like location matters in real estate, right?
Yeah.
This house, and that's why I tell a lot of people, this house, the true thing to build it, it's the same material to build it, but one house in downtown or in a very desirable area in, downtown Nashville, you take that same house and put it all the way in Mount Pleasant, it's going to be two separate prices,
it's
right?
so different. It's so different.
And then location also gives us the claim history in that area too. So that's another rating factor, if you will.
Yeah. I know you guys all have stats and stuff for all this. What is Allstate's like specialty? If you were to say they have like a specialty that you guys are really good at, what is that?
In regards to location area, or
no, just in regards to like insurance. Is there like a thing? Are you guys known for being like the auto insurance? I mean, I know.
Yeah, we are great. Allstate is great with home and auto.
Okay.
Really great with that. Allstate is customer centric, extremely customer centric. If you want to communicate with us via text, you can do that. Via phone, you can do that. If you want to just do the 800 number type of person, you can do that. If you want to go online and run all your insurance, you can do. They're so customer
you can do different
in that. But the bigger thing that I like about Allstate's policies is that you have options of different enhanced policies versus not enhanced. So if you go to, XYZ insurance, you're going to get the base home policy, right? We're talking about home policies right now. You can come to Allstate, you can choose that base home policy that every other provider, or you can say, you know what, Jaimee, I want the enhanced policy that is, if I get a claim, my rate's not going to go up. My deductible for my homeowners is going to get $100 credit and continue to grow that $100 credit up to $500. And I'm going to get cash back for not having claims towards my renewal premiums. So we have that as well in our home, options is basically what it is. And you get to choose those options. You can choose the policy and kind of put it together, but it's still going to have that base policy that's going to cover you well if you did nothing. If you just called and said, give me a policy,
this is your base.
Still going to have a really great base policy, but there's so many other options to it that
nobody cares until they have a claim, right? And need something. And then I'm like, dang, I didn't get that policy that includes this or that. And that's kind of how I'm feeling right now. I'm like, I know I have decent, we've been happy with our insurance, but we haven't had a lot of problems. And I'm just starting to think if a problem pops up, I just want to make sure I know what my coverage is and then I'm at peace with it.
Yeah.
So going back to your customer centric thing, my dad still has Allstate and had Allstate my entire life. He is like such an Allstate fan. And right now my wife's mom worked for an insurance company here locally, and that was kind of where we started with insurance, but we don't have that tie anymore. And I've been meaning to talk to you forever about it. So anyways, I'm just trying to think, is there anything else that might be good for people looking to buy a home? How would they apply for insurance with you? Is there like an easy way? Could I put a link in the description, or is there something that will make it easy?
Yeah, I'll give you my my link. We actually have a QR code if you want to put some information in there. I think the biggest thing though is when you're applying for insurance, if they just get the address and just really basic information, just know that if you have a claim, they got really basic information. So how involved are they going to be when there's a claim, especially if you're coming from a different state? Education is key. I literally bring people in here to sit with my staff I mean, I brought a lawyer in here that specializes in suing insurance companies for the insured. So most people wouldn't. I wanted him in here to tell us all the ways he's gonna, when he gets a client and they go to sue an insurance company, their insurance company or somebody else's, what he's looking for, what all the loopholes, all this, because it's really important. Because if I don't know that, then how can I really truly advise? And you know what I mean? So that's what I'm looking for. I had a roofing specialist who really knows insurance, really knows that, come in here and talk to my team. And little did you can get even, and this is how some roofers are able to do it. They know insurance. Some roofers say they know insurance, but don't really know it, right? Mm-hmm. They don't really work. I mean, and you'll know that because they're the ones that talk bad about insurance, period. Or I like this company because they know how to work through that system. But if you really know, that if you have a certain grain on your roof and you have damage and you cannot find this grain, if they can prove that, then they can get the whole dang roof repaired. Now, I'm not a claim representative, so I have to say I can't deny or extend or deny coverage. That's a big thing to know about your agents. They can tell you, they can talk through things with you, but they're not the claim rep. Right. That's why insurance companies have claim reps over here and agents over here. Because think about it. If my client had a loss and I could find any way, I'm going to do it because I value my relationship. Yeah. So, but just know if you're going to talk to an insurance person, they should be asking you, hey, what is the sale price of your house? What is the loan amount on your house? That's an important thing to know, because they can give you a quote all day. And I've seen this happen 1,000 times. And then they give everything to the lender, and then the lender sends it off to underwriting, and then it comes back and they have to change the whole home quote because it doesn't have enough coverage to cover the loan.
When they do that quote, like I just feel like a lot of people are just going online and just getting that basic quote and rolling with it, which is fine, I guess, to start out, right?
Oh yeah, to start out. But you really, I mean, because you got to think, my house might have all basic things in it, and we can have houses right next to each other, and then you've upgraded your house. Yeah. So your home insurance should be higher because, you have chandeliers in every room. I just have cheap ceiling fans. Right. Well, if your home goes down in flames, you're not going to want a cheap ceiling fan. Yeah. You're going to want everything in your place. That is not going to be okay with you putting her back.
I'm going to make you come to our house and document everything. You're like, fine china. I actually am looking over here. I have these trinkets from like Hobby Lobby over here in my office. They were like $1.99 each. I want those. I want those covered, Jaimee.
Okay. Okay.
So we'll put your contact information in the description below. So guys, if you're listening, whether you live here in Tennessee or you're moving here, Jaimee, you can do insurance anywhere in Tennessee and in other states, right?
Well, I specialize in Tennessee.
Yep.
And I'm very adamant about that because I feel like it's, I'm always reading laws and learning things. So I want to, know that. I do research on other states, but I don't write, but I can get you with somebody there. But I'm happy if you just have questions, you're thinking of moving here, whatever that is, you can email me. And just so you know that regardless of who you go with, that you're picking the best thing for you and your family. That's really what's important.
I think too, for the viewers, like that's really cool about you, Jaimee. Jaimee is so involved in the community in Spring Hill and Williamson County. She's just, I see you at like all the events. I mean, I'm like, oh my gosh, I saw you at the school running around, you're running your business. So kudos to you for getting that all done.
Yeah. I tend to just drag my family along with me.
You're like, I'm just dying inside. I haven't slept in a year.
I don't sleep. No. Yeah. But no, you know what? I'm a bubbly people person. I mean, I really enjoy being around people. That's kind of how I get my energy. So yeah. For me, and I'm a serial volunteer, which you probably know that about me since we've known each other. But, if somebody needs something, I'm the first one to volunteer to do it. But I feel like you got to give back.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's been great having you on here. We've been on about 40 minutes.
I
So, like I said, I'll leave Jaimee's contact information in the description. If this is your first time meeting me, I am a real estate agent. I specialize really in the Williamson County area, but I also do anywhere in Middle Tennessee if you need help. So we appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.